Hi all my friends, welcome to the channel. So today we're going to jump right into the video and we're going to go ahead and look at all the recent patterns that I purchased from McCall's. And I got most of these patterns from Hobby Lobby or Joann's here in the United States, but many of these are available online. If you live in the UK or other parts of the world, they are still accessible. Also, great news, McCall's just opened up PDF patterns on the website. So if you go to the McCall's website, you can get a lot of these in PDF formats, which is a really wonderful thing because now they are accessible to everybody now. So yeah, you can go on to the McCall's pattern website and you can download some of these patterns if you have need to purchase a copy. Also, I wanted to say real quickly, for those of you who are new to the channel and you subscribe to the channel, welcome to the channel. And more importantly, if you came over to my channel because and so on, she goes by Lisa here on YouTube, as well as and so on, that's her name of her channel. If you came over to the channel because of her recommendation, thank you so much for coming over and for subscribing to the channel. I hope you find my content enjoyable. You can always leave me a message down in my comment section below if you have any questions, comments, concerns, and all of that good stuff. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into the video. And the first pattern that I am going to show you is the McCall's M7905. This is an older pattern, and I do want to say with my last pattern haul, I did pick up a couple of patterns that were not necessarily new, but they are new to me and they are still in stores. And so this is one of them. This isn't one of the latest ones. If you are tuning in because you want to know more about the latest patterns, stay tuned. They will be shown like more towards the middle or the end of the video. So first I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the older patterns that I purchased. So this is one of them, and it's a skirt pattern, and it has 4 different variations of a ruffled dress, and it looks like it's tiered, but I don't believe it's tiered. Let's look at the line art here. So yeah, it has some tiering to it, and as you can see, version A, and they always represent some of these as color blocking options, but you can do any of these in color blocking. But view A here is represented like it's like you can do a color blocking here for just the ruffles. As you can see, it has 2 darts on the back of the skirt as well as a zipper for the closure. And views A and B are basically the same skirts. The only difference here is they're showing you that color blocking option like I said before. View C, you have an additional tier here, so you can lengthen the skirt. And then view D, same thing, you have an additional tier, so you can lengthen that skirt. I really like this pattern. It calls for fabrics such as georgette, chiffon, crepe de chine, and crepe. And then for your lining, you're just going to select a lining fabric. So this is a pattern designed for wovens, and it is easy. It's classified as an easy skirt. It's semi-fitted skirts, have invisible zipper in the back and a hook and eye, and you have your different length variations, and you can do your flounce and contrast, as I said before, with view A. But you can pretty much do that with any of these. Yeah, so it's a really nice, simple pattern, and I thought that I would get it. I purchased this. I saw Crystal, she was making something like this, I think, for the Maxi Challenge. And that's the challenge that she and I are hosting for the next couple months. If you want to know more about that, I'll pop a link in my description box to the videos that me and Crystal did, as well as a link to our Instagram, so you can go over and see the inspiration for that, and you can learn more about the challenge. But I think this is what she's making for one of her makes for the Maxi Challenge, and I saw the pattern, and I think it was my first time seeing the pattern, actually, and I thought it was so gorgeous, and so that's why I picked that one up. Next is the McCall's M7931, which is a really fun slip skirt. It's really basic, and that's what I like about it as well. I feel like we all need those skirts that are just our really basic staples, and this is definitely a staple, in my opinion anyway. It has 4 different variations. They are all basically the same skirt. The only difference is whether or not you want it to fall at your knee, or if you want it a little shorter, or if you want it a little longer. So that's basically the only differences between the skirts. And then also view C here has a slit in the side of the skirt for view C. Similar fabrics as the previous pattern. It calls for satin, crepe, crepe de chine, challis, and your contrast for view D can be in sheers because that's going to be like an overlay. And then the description here says it's just skirts that are fitted through the hip and have facings and visible zipper, narrow or very narrow hems, and length and overlay options. Here's McCall's M7901, which is a top pattern. Again, these are older patterns. They're not too old. They're still in the stores, and you can still purchase them. They're in print, but they're a little older. And I like this. It's very simple, but you have some gathering details, which makes it takes it up a notch above just simple. But it is simple in design and in construction. It is rated as an average pattern though. You have your fabric suggestions are cotton blends, lawn crepe, and gingham. The sleeves are, you do gather the sleeves. So you're going to have a little bit of gathering up at the shoulder point there. But you do also have an option to do it without sleeves as well. I like view C and view B. However, I'm not for certain if I would like that elastic sitting on my arm. That might annoy me. So I might just go for view C or view D. Here's another skirt pattern. It's the McCall's M7725. It has 4 different variations of an asymmetrical skirt. You could do a gather skirt. A and B calls for gathering. The difference between these two is this here, you can purchase fabric that has a scalloped edge, and so you can use that as a detail. But as far as the skirt itself, it's pretty much the same. You have your side zipper, you have 2 darts in the front of the skirt, you have your band and your ruffle at the bottom. For version C, you have your skirt is a little bit different. Not only is it asymmetrical, it goes like a slant, but even the asymmetrical portion is asymmetrical, if that makes any sense. So you have some longer tails here in the back, as well as on the front as well. So it's a little bit different, a different design than the rest of them. And then for view D, you're going to pleat your skirt instead of gathering it. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the back around so you can see here. As you can see with view C, like I said, you have that longer tail here, which I think is really cool. View A, here's your scalloped edge. View D, you have your pleats, and view B and A, you have your gathers. You have 2 darts at the back as well. And the fabric suggestions for this one is a single edge scalloped lace. That's for your view A. You have crepe, cotton blends, and stable knits and challis. So I think this is a really good pattern as well, and it's rated as easy. I also picked up McCall's M8060. Now this is new packaging, but it is an older pattern. And again, I really like this whole band here, like how you can have that contrast band. And I guess that's what attracted me to this pattern. It's really simple. It's just a simple dress. Here's the line art here. It's a full dress, and as you can see here, you have princess seams, which I really love. Princess seams seem to shape my figure pretty nicely, and so I always like to go for bodices that have that princess seam in them. The fabric suggestions here are medium weight woven fabrics such as cotton blends, crepe de chine, challis, and georgette fabrics. For your linings, you can do just lining fabrics or cotton blends. Here's McCall's M7717, which is another dress pattern. It has four different variations, of a dress. And basically, the bodice and the skirt are the same for all views. The only difference is each one has different types of statement sleeves. And I like this view here, view C. But I also like the balloon sleeves as well. I'm not quite for certain about the double flounce sleeves, but I do like these two versions here. Here's the line art. And as you can see, this pattern also has princess seams. And the fabric suggestions are crepe, cotton blends, staple knits. And for A, you can do an overlay and in lower sleeves. So yeah, you have a double flounce type sleeve. And lining fabrics are suggested. Another older pattern, McCall's M7406. It's just a simple wrap skirt. It is a learn to sew skirt, has 4 different variations. Very simple. Here's your line art. As you can see, you just have basically a front and a back. Well, you have your bodice pieces and you have your skirt pieces as well for the front, I believe. And then the fabric suggestions are crepe, challis, cotton blends, and stable knits. McCall's M7116. This is a very easy close-fitting dress. It has different neckline and sleeve variations, which I really love. I'm thinking about doing versions D and versions B. I like those 2 versions here. This one here with that gathering at the neckline. And then this one has pleating at the neckline. And it has like a really soft like V shape here that that goes up at the top on the bodice section. Here's the line art so you can see more clearly. The for view D, you have gathering on the sleeves, which I'm not always a fan of, but sometimes depending on the style and the type of garment, I will wear it. The suggestions for fabrics are crepe, challis, crepe de chine, charmeuse, chiffon, and georgette fabrics. Now I'm getting into the early spring collection from McCall's of this year. It is McCall's M8035. And this is a dress pattern that has 3 different variations. I've seen a few people make this already, and it is a really lovely skirt. I love the silhouette of all 3 of these different versions. McCall started naming some of these patterns here. This one is the Bren McCall's, but the number, you can always find the number up here. The sizing for this come in extra small, small, medium. They also have large, extra large, and I believe 2XL as well. And yeah, this is definitely in stores, obviously, because it's new. And the fabrics are interlock, crepe, challis, and georgette fabrics. Here's the line drawing here. And as you can see, the top is just a crossover bodice, which I always love those. Those are fun. So it's like a mock wrap. You only have your wrap up at the bodice part, but not the skirt. For view C, you have a slit. For view B, you have a tier, so you can have like a gathering at the bottom of the skirt. And then for view A, you have a ruffle skirt that goes up near the waist. I'm not sure how I feel about that one, and I don't think I would make that. So yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Then we have McCall's M8044, which is a dress pad or skirt pattern, sorry. And I'm doing this for the Maxi Dress Challenge. And I've started working on view B already. I want to make view C as well, but we'll see where I go with my with all of my progress with the skirts and the dresses that I'm making. So this is a pattern that has 3 different variations. So versions A and B are essentially the same skirt It's just one is longer than the other. For view C, you are working with a few additional pieces so that you can make your ruffle at the bottom of your skirt. It's really simple. I've had the opportunity to read some of the instructions here, and they are pretty straightforward, and I like the dress pattern. And it's definitely one that I can see myself making again and again to include just simple skirts in my wardrobe. Here's McCall's M8031, which is a level 3 for the Learn to Sew patterns. And this is another pattern that comes in sizes such as extra small, small, medium, large, and extra large. As you can see, for this particular pattern, it goes all the way up to extra large. I believe there's another envelope for 2XL. I'm not for certain. I'll have to check on that and let you all know. But as you can see here, it has 4 different variations of a shirt dress. Nothing too fancy or new about, they haven't added anything new, you know what I'm saying? Like a shirt dress is a shirt dress pattern. But I don't have one in this particular style that includes these types of pockets and this curved hem and this slit in the side. So I thought that that view would be something that would be interesting for me to sew and to include into my wardrobe. Here is the line art. The pocket, the dress comes with pockets, and as you can see, you have some pleats in the back as well as a yoke for the back of the garment as well. A tie belt that you can make. Fabric suggestions are crepes, cotton blends, linen, and sateen. So it's just a really simple pattern. It has 13 pieces. Next, we have the McCall's M8046, which is a jumpsuit pattern. I like all these views, but I would most likely make this view here that the model is wearing. I don't really gravitate towards jumpsuit patterns all that much, simply because I'm always thinking about what am I going to do when I'm in public and I have to go to the restroom. I don't know why, but that's always a question that comes to my mind when I think about making a jumpsuit pattern. And it is the reason why to date, I have never made a jumpsuit pattern for myself. I've made coveralls, but not a jumpsuit pattern. So I'm just a little bit nervous about that, but I do want to give it a try. And if I were to make a jumpsuit, I would love to do this one because it's just so nice, and I like the clean lines. I love the button detail down the center front. I love the elastic down here at the bottom of the pant leg, the pockets on the side, just everything about this pattern. I absolutely love it. Here is the line art here, and as you can see in the back, it has a yoke and some pleating back there as well. It is classified as an easy pattern. However, it has 16 pattern pieces. It calls for fabrics such as twill, linen, cotton blends, and denim. So yeah, I like that. Next up is the McCall's M8040, which is also a pattern that was in the early spring collection. This one's called the Emma. Oh, and the previous one, this one's called the Trudy. Okay, so this one is Emma, or Emmy, sorry, not Emma, Emmy. And it has 3 different variations of a top. I like this top. I think you can go 1 or 2 ways with this. I think it is a close fitting top. They don't have a description on here of what it is, but it is a close fitting top, but I'm sure you can actually get it to be more fitted, or even a loose fitting top. And that's one of the reasons why I chose this, because the silhouette is one that you can kind of create your own type of silhouette if you want it fitted or semi-fitted. And I think that's true of most garments, especially tops. But with this one, it looks like it can be one of those garments that can be either fitted or loose. It has princess seams down the center front, as you can see, gathering on the sleeve. It has a V-neck, which I am a fan of, and most of you already know that already. Button details. It has a cuff for views, for all the views, but it just depends on which view you make, where that cuff's going to be. So this cuff obviously is going to be around the a little bit above the elbow. You have a cuff at the the lower end of the garment, and then one that is above the at the lower end of your wrist. It's what I meant to say. And then you have a cuff detail that is above the wrist. So I really like it. Here's the line art here. And as you can see, for the back of the garment, you have your princess seams as well. It has 10 pattern pieces, and it is classified as an easy pattern. And the fabric suggestions are poplin, shirting fabrics, cotton blends, and lightweight denim. So this next pattern is a pattern that is an older pattern. However, it was packaged in McCall's latest packaging. So the new cover here. So they just repackaged it. It is McCall's M8066, and this is a Learn to Sew Level 1 pattern, which means it's supposed to be super easy. It comes in sizes such as extra small, small, and medium. You can get the next size up, which includes large and extra large. It has 4 different variations of a skirt. The different versions here are basically tier options or no tier options. It comes with 7 pieces, and the suggested fabrics are cotton blends, lawn, and chambray, and polished cottons. So as you can see here, view A has a tier. So for views A and B, you're basically just working with one tier here. And version C, you have 2 tiers that you're working with. One tier for versions A and B. And then you're just working with the long skirt for version D. So this long skirt with no tiers at all. So yeah, it's a fun little skirt. I think it'll be a fun little boho skirt to sew for the summer. Here's McCall's M8033, which is a dress pattern that it has 3 different variations of a dress pattern. It's very simple and straightforward, clean lines. It's an easy pattern. Has 14 given pieces. You can have, you can make different sleeve lengths, as well as you can make this view here that has like a lace detail at the bottom, or you can make view C, which has, you have some lace options. It's almost like tiering here. You can put, do some contrasting here and do some lace options here, or you could just make one long skirt without doing the different lace options here. So this one's called the Sophia McCall's pattern. Here's the line detail here. It has buttons going down the center front, gathering on the sleeves, and you're going to be using elastic for that. And as I stated before, like with view B, although you have like those tiers here, you don't have to do the lace option, but it calls for lace fabric if you want to be able to use that lace. So here are the fabric suggestions: lawn, crepes, gauze, polished cotton. For contrast pieces, you're going to use lace or sheer fabrics. All right, so let's get into the later spring collection. So this is the first one that I purchased from the latest spring collection. This is McCall's M8083, which is another dress pattern. I love my dress patterns. This one has 3 different variations, and I really like view C, and that's one of the reasons why I picked up this pattern. I'm not one for really large and huge statement sleeves, but when I see a pattern that has sleeves with flutter sleeves or some type of ruffle type sleeve, I will kind of gravitate towards those, and that's one of the reasons why I purchased this. It also has a you have an option of making a belt with this, which I also thought was really cute. It's a button front. That's one of the main reasons why I got this as well, because I love garments that have button front closures. So here are the line drawings. As you can see, you have darts. You have darts that you're putting on the front bodice as well as on the back. You have these, not dolman sleeves. I'll put it on the screen because I'm spaced right now, but those types of sleeves there. You also have cup options. So you have A, B, C, and D cup sizes here. And the fabric suggestions are crepes, challis, crepe de chine, and charmeuse. And this is classified as an easy pattern. There's your belt option here. And also there are pocket options with it as well. So really nice skirt. As you can see, the skirt of this is going to be gathered. So yeah, this is a really nice dress pattern. Here's another dress pattern, but this one has elastic at the waist. I like the fluidity in this dress. However, I'm not a fan of elasticated waists that much, but I like this one here. And this is called the Andrina. And I'm going to show you what the actual number is. This is the McCall's M8089. And it has three different views here. And as you can see, you have some options in the types of ruffles that you use, whether or not you want to do like 3 tiers or 1. Here's one that has like a V-shaped tier on top of a tier, on top of a whatever you want to call that. And I think that's what she's wearing here. But it kind of gets lost into this detail because it's the same print here, so you can't really tell that it has that V shape there. But yeah, it's really cool. I thought that I would make maybe view A here. I like that option. This one is probably my favorite out of the latest McCall's. I love the skirt on this. When I got home, I realized that this pattern calls for a lot of fabric. So if I wanted to make views B or C, which is the long dress, I'm looking at anywhere between 6 to 8 yards of fabric, depending on what type of fabric I use. If it's on a 45-inch wide fabric or 60-inch wide, this calls for quite a bit of fabric. So yeah, I'm not quite for certain about this pattern making it anytime soon. It's called the Aurora McCall's pattern, and I'm going to look at the number here. So this is the McCall's M8087. I like this view here, and like I said, I love the skirt. I probably would change this out and use like this top here for it, or this top here. And that's another reason why I purchased this pattern, because I thought that if I wanted to have like a really long dress but have my shoulders closed up and just have a different type of style or detail, that I can kind of do some pattern mashing here. And I really like the idea of doing that. So it has 3 different variations for this. If you want to make an off the shoulder maxi dress, you can do that. This one here features a little ruffle up at the top of the garment that is closest to the shoulders. I think it's a little bit more closer than this one here. I'm not for certain, but it could just be a shorter version of this. And then you also have like a halter dress as well. So here are the line drawings. And for this one is classified as easy as well. It comes with 13 pieces, and you're looking at using fabrics such as gauze, lawn, crepes, and stable knits. This is the McCall's M8095, and this is a shirt pattern. It has 3 different views of a top. You can make a top without sleeves that have a little flounce down the front of the garment. You can also make a top that has a just a round neck, almost like a boat neck. I can't really tell because her hair is in the way, but the sleeves are, you have a cold arm type sleeve or cold shoulder, whatever you want to call it. And you have some gathering down here at the wrist and a cuff. And then on this one here, so all of these are wrap shirts. Let me show you the back. So they're all wrap. So you would wrap part of your garment around the other part, and you have ties in the back to tie it together. You have darts in the garment, bust darts here. It comes with 10 pieces. It's rated as an easy pattern, and the suggested fabrics are charmeuse, crepes, crepe de chine, and lawn. So I like this, and I would like to do either B or C. Although I don't know if I would have that much of my arm out, but it is a great pattern. I also picked up the McCall's M8097, which is a really simple, easy skirt pattern that has ruffles. It has an elasticized waist. 3 different versions here. And I would like to make maybe this view or this view here. It's just a simple pattern. It's not a whole lot to say about it. It's easy. It has 8 pieces. It calls for fabrics such as crepe de chine, crepes, challis, and stable knits. Then I have McCall's. Oh, gotta look at this pattern as well. This is the McCall's M8102. And this pattern has 3 different variations here. You have 2 variations of a top and 1 variation of a skirt. So with the top here, you have, let me turn over the line drawing. As you can tell here, you have some pleating with the top and some top stitching here. It has buttons that go down the center front. You have some type of ruffle detail here on the upper part of near the arm and on the side of the garment. And then you have sleeves for view B if you want to make sleeves with it. For the skirt option here, you have an elasticated skirt that has 2 different tiers here for the skirt, and it's asymmetrical. It's like a high-low skirt, and so the back sits lower than the front. And it has this really cool rounded shaped hem. It's really cool. And I like this. That's why I purchased the pattern. I really like that. Okay, lastly, this is my last purchase here. This is the McCall's M8099. It is a trouser pattern that comes in small, medium, large, and extra large. It has 3 different variations. You can make you have some shorts here, and then you have 2 different variations of a pair of pants. The only difference between these 2 pants is the elastic down here at the bottom of the pant leg. And this is the view that I will be making. And this is called the Lena pattern here. And it has cargo pockets. It has side slit pockets, an elasticated waist. It also has pockets on the back as well of the garment. So yeah, it's an easy pattern, comes with 15 pieces. I already cut this one out because I'm planning on making this soon. And the suggested fabrics are cotton blends, denim, poplin, and twill. So yeah, it's a really fun pattern, and I can't wait to make these cargo pants. So that's basically all of the things that I purchased for McCall's this season. I have quite a bit here. It'll be interesting to see what my wardrobe looks like at the end of the year. I'm excited about all the new patterns that McCall has come out with. There are some patterns that are still out there for the early spring and also the spring collection that I did not show in this video. Make sure that you head over to the McCall site so you can also see those, or you can always visit Lindsay at Inside the Hem, and she does an amazing job with showing all of the latest the pattern releases. So there's also that option as well. And yeah, if you like this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. Thank you for coming in and watching the video. And for those of you who are new, again, thank you for subscribing to the channel. If you have any of these patterns, if you made any of these patterns, or you would like to make any of these patterns, please Leave me your comments in the comment section below. Tell me your thoughts about this pattern haul and also about what you plan to make with some of these patterns. All right, thank you for tuning in, and until next time, stay creative, my friends.